and Aston in 11th. And multiplication will be the last car in the field.
More green.
We are green flag.
Nice clean start throughout the pack. EDP and Agent still side by side. Most of the field going side by side. That's Brown and Napa as Brown gets past him. You see Kimmy side by side with Anthony in that blue, white, and red car with Max Paints. First time in IndyCar as they're almost 3 wide in the middle of the pack. As you can see, multiplication losing the field as he's running high, and he's in the wall. Not a good start for him as we look farther in the field as they try and single file out, which is not going to happen. Throughout testing over these last 2.5 weeks, we have seen side-by-side racing throughout the field, but it was shown that the leaders can pull away by a lot. As lap 3 of 200 here at Phoenix Raceway, Agent still in the lead. Corey Wilson looking to the inside of EDP, not going to work. Actually, no, he is going to make it work. Slight contact. Here comes Fearless into the back of Corey Wilson. Not that good of a start here at Phoenix, Arizona.
Corey Wilson will overtake Noted for the 3rd spot. It looks like Noted might fall down to 4th, actually, as Fearless has the bottom here. Around double file in the back. I'd also like to correct, this Anthony, the car he's running right now, that isn't the first time Max Pace has been on an IndyCar. That was like way back last year in the Pocono Challenge. It was in my own entry. So, yeah, this sponsor actually has some deeper roots than you might expect, and right now it's currently the Max Pace car is currently sitting in the back, but for the moment we could see Anthony up at the front because he does have his ups and downs, I will say. And Agent, he's currently having his ups right now because he is leading the field, the Pied Piper of IndyCar, as Corey Wilson will try not to down. Oh, and Fearless gets punted into the wall by Napa Boy. Fearless will force it 3 wide. He made some contact with Brown Moons, and the pack is jumbled up from 4th on back as Fearless will try and regain his momentum. That was a dangerous hit right there.
Yeah, as the pack was single file for the most of the part, as Fearless got the contact, it just brought them all together. They're going to try and work it out, but Kimmy, not wasting any time, trying to send it 3 wide. Our pole sitter is back here in the middle of the pack. It is not a good run for him so far, as he's dropped right now in 7th place, battling with Fearless.
And right now, Corey Wilson is catching up to Agent. He could be the challenger to Agent's threshold on this series so far. As Corey, he's definitely on his tail. Napa kind of shuffled in between. Kimmy got up high there. He got pushed pretty far up high. He almost got squeezed into the wall by Bruh. Had to fall behind there. Noted, it's not going well for him, I will say. He is falling back down into the 7th spot. Definitely not a good start to his run, but we'll see what he can do with the still at the front.
Yeah, you can see the pack mainly calming down. They're starting to worry about fuel, and I believe they have tires also that they have to worry about, which will come into strategy later in the race. You could either see them start lifting to try and... Okay, it's just fuel. We got confirmed by Bubble. It is just fuel that they have to worry about. It's full push. No tires have to worry about, only fuel. You could see them lifting to keep fuel burn as low as possible, but they're just single file here at Phoenix. But here in turn 1, you could see them run multiple lines. We saw that in the Indy next race. Able to run side by side many lanes, which could produce something big if we have a yellow late in this race. But right now, they're just set and sailing, except at the back we have Carter and Prime battling it out. Kimmy trying to get in there too in that Crown Royal car as he's going to go down inside. A little bit of contact with Prime. But we actually have Corey Wilson as we're focusing on the back. We have a battle for the lead. Agent on the inside of Corey Wilson. We thought they would be trying to stay in line with each other, but no, Corey Wilson says, no, I want to lead this race.
Yeah, and I will say about turn 1, that is definitely, it is the steepest corner on the entire track of Phoenix Raceway, but even so, these cars are having to let off around 20 miles whenever they go into that corner. These cars may steer much better than any NASCAR stock car that has ran on this track, but even so, this track is tricky. I will say, definitely not as tricky as Pocono, but still pretty tricky. I will say, Agent with the crossover. He did not choose to go to the bottom. He's going to try and go up high to take the lead over Corey, but Corey has the bottom. He's going to move up a little bit. Corey will hit the wall as they come to the line, and Agent, he's going to take the bottom, trying to go for the lead. As Agent will clear Corey, but Corey's going to do another crossover, and he's going to take the bottom to try and get the lead back. They're trading the lead like a bunch of baseball cards, and Napa, he's sitting in the back like the audience, wanting to make his move, as the rest of the field has kind of stretched out into single file racing.
It is just crossover country between Corey Wilson and Agent through those last few laps, battling for the lead, but Corey Wilson has about nearly a 1.5 cars length, while Agent sends it to the inside. Corey Wilson's going to block it a little bit, try and give him that dirty air, and it works just a little bit. Same distance as they entered, but Agent with the draft, he's going to go high, now low on the back bumper of Corey Wilson. Just inches between them. Not any space between them. One mistake could wreck them both out, but probably the two best drivers in the league battling it out here at Phoenix, Arizona.
Man,
as there's a little bit of contact.
I was gonna, sorry to interrupt, but look at multiplication right now. He is off the pace. That is insane. He has drifted away behind the field. This is definitely not his kind of track, I will say. He's around 5 seconds behind the 11th place car of Anthony Anderson. Not good. Not a good start to him. Not a good start for him multiplication at all. Let's hope he can improve as the race goes on.
Yeah, we don't really want to see bad starts for anyone, but it's kind of the nature of this series. The best of the best in Bubble Studios in this league. And if you're not one of the best, you're going to get left behind. Currently last in the field, as only 12 cars were accepted into the race due to lap purposes during testing. But as we look ahead, Athens battling with Fearless, who got into the wall a little bit. Napa, who has caught with Corey Wilson, who's battling Agent, now a battle for P2. Napa just behind Corey Wilson, just trying to stay patient, trying to find a hole where he could get into, see if Corey Wilson can make a mistake, or even Agent makes a mistake, which might be very rare, but will happen sometimes.
And right now, the podium cars have pulled away from the rest of the field. They've definitely got the speed here at Phoenix Raceway. And Agent continues to be the dominant car of the day with just 22 laps into the 200 lap event here in the deserts of Arizona. And Brown, he's currently running fourth, the highest position behind, well, the highest position of the large pack here. It's not quite condensed, I will say. The field is very much single file and strung apart. but they are probably the closest to causing a caution than the rest of the field, because it seems like Agent Corey and Napa, they've all got it figured out. But they are racing pretty hard, I will say, so you never know. And look at Corey.
Corey Wilson from the front wing of Napa just rocketed towards Agent, and now he's going to the inside, move for the lead. They're going to be side by side once again. The tale of the story throughout the day, only 25 laps in, and battle between Agent and Corey Wilson almost through half of those. But Corey Wilson now takes the lead. Agent wants to lead this race, so both of them want to lead this race. It's no doubt about that. There is concern about dirty air, but not really, as the speeds here are high, but a lot of grooves here to be run. As you can see, Agent just staying in tow behind Corey Wilson, just trying to make a run.
Yeah, we got some hard racing here in the back between Carter and Noted. Carter was trying to pass Noted really hard for, I believe, the 6th spot, but it looks like Noted was able to clear Carter once again, so Carter will have to continue to sit in 8th, but that was a hard charge by him right there.
Yeah,
Fearless and Aston.
Yeah, just a car before them, it's Athens and Fearless. Fearless, one of the championship contenders last year. Only in 5th place right now, hoping he can improve in the field. Hoping he could run with Agent, his championship protagonist and teammate last year. Hoping he can get back running with him. And just Brown right in front of him in P4, a good run for Brown. Right now, winner of Michigan last year, his only win last year. And then you also have 3 cars behind him, Kimmy, another championship protagonist, getting almost passed by Prime in the 7-Eleven mobile. Just on the back bumper, and right behind him is Anthony in 11th. And then all the way, nearly a half a lap between the field is multiplication in the number 27.
We got some.
Oh, and he's actually in the wall right now.
Oof. Got some hard racing right here with the field. It's just 2-car battles between each other. Aston and Fearless, Noted and Carter. They're jockeying hard for position here. We've just got some little battle right here, and it looks like Noted just hit the outside wall, so that'll give Carter the spot. That was not good for Noted. But it looks like Noted, he's going to try and cross over on Carter, as Carter nearly went to the wall. Oh, and another car in the back hit the outside wall. That was Bruh. Bruh hit the wall. I'm not sure if he made contact with Kimmy there. But there is just some unnecessary hard racing between these drivers. As this race is, Prime, excuse me. Bruh's Prime, and I will just say, this race will be more about that tire strategy than it will be about the actual racing. So, like I said, it is a little field strategy, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's been a while. Pardon my exhausted behavior. Like, things haven't gone well since St. Petersburg, but either way.
Yeah, it's been a long break since St. Petersburg, but we do have Athens and Fearless looking to go side by side, with Athens on the bottom, Fearless on the high side. Fearless gonna ride the top. No, he's gonna go to the inside, and he's actually gonna do a crossover on Athens. Fearless inside, Athens outside, right behind Brown. As we also have EDP behind Carter, as Carter got past him. Still side by side between them, not a lot of room between them, which is the name of the game here in IndyCar. Just side by side, inches between them. Athens gonna ride the top, going to get the run. Here he comes into the inside. No, he's in the wall.
Yeah, Athens hit the wall hard there.
Yeah, he had a
lose
good
momentum to Carter.
Yeah, he had a good run building, riding the outside line on turn 1, and then just got into the wall. But he's right with Fearless now, as the top 3 are still pulling away. Brown, who is currently leading the field, as you saw Athens get in the back of Fearless. Carter trying to make a move, but not with the run. But Brown leading this main pack, three seconds behind the top three. But you also have Carter looking on the inside of Athens, who was trying to pass Fearless in the number 9 Scott Dixon inspired car.
Man,
But you also have Fearless.
Look at multiplication. The multiplication in the Snapple C Sports car is running about 18 seconds behind the leader and around 10 seconds behind Anthony Anderson, who was in 11th, just ahead of him. Multiplication is having a tough time right now. But then again, this race is all about field strategy, so this could be his big break, but things are just not looking good for multiplication because he is just a straightaway ahead of the leaders. So we could have a blue flag right here if he continues to run at the pace he's at. He just bumped into the outside wall. And right now, for the battle for the lead, Corey is still the leader. Agent is sitting in second. Nappleboy in third. And they are definitely the most dominant. They're going to be the most dominant cars of the day because they have just pulled away from the rest of the field. It's insane how far they've drifted.
And they've been the two main characters of this season
so far.
Which Agent winning at St. Petersburg in the last race, I believe.
You know, I just saw some contact with Athen and Brown on turn 1. It looked like they got sideways, but I'm not sure. But just a little bit of hard racing right there. They're just the field is getting really close to get together. And Fearless, he is currently running the highest position in the pack.
Well, Athens just got in the back of Brown a little bit on the short shoe before getting into turn 4. There's still contact. Carter trying to look on the inside of Athens. He might get there into turn 1, but he is going to back off. Athens still on the rear wing of Brown. Now gonna try and go to the inside. It's a risky move, but he's not there. Brown slams the door on him.
Try to do a little bit of a bump and run there as Carter. He's gonna try and run the middle lane. That did not work so well for him. Athen, he's going to try and go for the position here for that 5th spot. And Athen will be able to clear Brown as Carter will get right on the back of Brown. Just some intense racing here.
Intense but clean. You saw Brown get loose in turn 4, but he gave it up into turn 1, and he's going to get passed by Carter, just losing spots. He first lost it to Fearless, now Athens, now he is losing it to Carter. As we
watch the onboard of Agent's car, you can see multiplication in sight now. He might get the blue flag from the Verizon IndyCar Series officials. So soon enough, we might have some lap car contact here. I mean, lap cars in the IndyCar Series haven't done very well for the races so far because we saw what happened in the Las Vegas race a couple weeks ago, and the lap cars just did not turn out so well. But either way, multiplication, he's definitely going to get lapped.
In the back between Carter and EDP, there's just a bunch of contact. They're just door slamming each other. Brown tried to make it 3 wide, but backed out of it after seeing the contact. Just rough racing, which Brown has been the smartest about. He's been backing off, letting people by, not wanting to get damaged.
I mean, any letting off is a good thing for these drivers, really. I think Brown's doing a good thing because he's saving his fuel. I think this is a good idea by him and a good move to save fuel, as Brown is now making contact with Carter right as I said that.
But at the front, we have Agent and Corey Wilson battling once again with multiplication, the lap car. incites what Agent or Corey Wilson used that as a pick to get by. Who knows, but multiplication off the pace by a ton, nearly losing a second a lap seems like, as Agent successfully gets by Corey Wilson with Napa in sights. But they have pulled away from the top three, has just pulled away from the rest of the field as they're just getting into turn one while they're exiting turn one. But multiplication just in the sights of Agent. What will multiplication do? Hopefully he'll get out of the way.
They've got multiplication. They're right there. Let's see what happens here. Could we see some 3 wide racing even for just a small second? Here they come. Agent with a blisteringly fast car. With each lap, he just gets so much closer to that Snapple car. We'll see what multiplication does here. Now, I think multiplication... Yeah, he's there. Agent is right there on the back of multiplication. Will multiplication move up into a spot where Agent will pass? Yeah,
well,
Agent will take the bottom. And multiplication will be lapped by the field. As multiplication will sit right behind. Here comes Corey Wilson. Looks like he'll also pass him.
Corey Wilson trying to get past multiplication as fast as he can because he doesn't want to get slowed down by him, but multiplication making it very difficult for Corey Wilson to get past. Normally in racing, it's harder to get past a lapped car as the leader than the rest of the field because it's no reason to fight him as multiplication lets Corey Wilson by. But almost
made a little bit of contact there, and yeah, that was a little bit of lap car interference that we saw there. And multiplication will drift behind as once Napa's cleared him. Oh, here comes multiplication on the bottom.
Multiplication trying to battle with Corey Wilson, thinking he's in 3rd place, but no, he's in 12th, 1 lap down.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing there, but I think once multiplication gets passed by Napa, as we're seeing here, we'll be fine for the moment, but he could be involved in this pretty aggressive field right here as Athen and Fearless are battling for the 4th spot. It was a drag race coming to the line, and Athen in the Chip Ganassi target car is going to take the bottom, trying to clear Fearless. As Athen will run the bottom, Fearless will run the high lane. Sometimes the middle as they come into turns 3 and 4. Athen will have some good momentum coming into turn 3, but he'll go a little bit high off of turn 4. But they'll run single file for the most part, and Fearless will have to accept 5th place for the moment.
Yeah, as 4th through 10th now have to worry about multiplication. What impact will they have? Will multiplication try to race with them? As we saw him with Corey Wilson, and now a little bit with Napa. Just trying to stay there, not lose a lot of time, but...
Oh, we have a pitter. We have some pitters.
That is Kimmy and Anthony on pit road right now looking... We now feel like it's going to be around a 55 to 65 lap. Yes, Agent.
Sorry for interrupting. That's a crazy move. That's a bold move by Agent right there.
I wonder if they're trying to not worry about fuel or...
Not sure, but either way, Kimmy will come off with pit road first, Anthony second.
Oh, Napa and Corey Wilson are coming into pit road, but Napa was ahead of Corey Wilson. We don't know what happened. Athens is now coming in.
Agent's also exiting pit road now. He might have timed his pit stop perfectly, but we'll see here.
He might get a little bit of lap traffic as Prime is going to come out right behind. Actually, might get ahead of Agent as Prime goes to the inside of Agent. That is not for a place as Prime goes high. As Carter is now in the pits.
So
as the main focus will be on Corey Wilson and Napa. As here they're just crossing the line and an agent is going to storm past him. But that's Prime in the middle of this mess as Nappa's slow. Prime goes to the outside. Brown goes to the outside of Nappa. Oh, and a little bit of contact, and Brown goes into the pit lane.
Man, that was close by Brown.
Multiplication also in pit road. He's going to leave his pit box now. As now,
Brown got a speeding penalty.
Yeah, it did look like it, as Brown is going to have to come back down pit road.
So right now it is Fearless the leader and Noted.
And Prime now comes into the pit road. Fearless, yeah, he is in the lead. Looking to stretch it even more with EDP behind him.
Yeah, I'm curious to see when Fearless and Noted will pit, because I'm pretty sure they haven't pitted yet.
No, they haven't. But it did. They were near the middle of the field, so they were getting drafts, so they could lift early into the corners, which does ultimately save fuel.
So right
around 55 laps on fuel around there, but able to save a lot more apparently.
Prime is coming off of pit road. So I think
Brown
that'll put Agent up into the 3rd spot. So I think once Fearless and Noted pit, that'll give Agent the lead.
You could also see Brown serving as drive-through penalty, speeding on pit road. As we see EDP coming into the pits.
Yeah.
He was in a battle with Fearless. What will Fearless do? Will he respond or just keep on going?
He'll have to come in at some point. He can't just sit around all race, just not taking in any fuel. Like he'll have to give it up at some point. There's really nothing he can do. So Agent will likely be the leader of this race, and he'll have a pretty good gap over Napa Boy and Corey, who also had some pretty good pit stops.
Yeah, as Fearless stays out, he has put the entire field 1 lap down. Which, looking through the timing, you also have Brown now behind Multiplication. So Multiplication finally making up a spot for Misfortune of Brown. But it's still Fearless just staying out, chugging along about 5 to 10, nearly 10 laps before, actually no, it was 10 laps before the first cutter. So was he saving fuel throughout the entire run? We believe so. But now it's just panning out the field, just getting back into their rhythms after pit stops.
Now, I don't think Fearless will keep the lead once he pits, but he could snag a pretty good top 5 position because he does have a 1 lap gap over Agent and the rest of the field, and Fearless already has a pretty good gap over Agent. So, I mean, if Fearless comes in now and he times his pit stop perfectly without speeding, he could actually run in a pretty good position, but we're still waiting for him to make his pit stop as it comes through turn 4. Fearless will not go into pit road, huh?
I believe he's trying to save as much fuel to make his last pit stop even shorter, or maybe even trying to eliminate an entire pit stop, as we're now nearly a third of the race in, which would make it a 2-stop, as the rest of the field would be on a 3-stop strategy. That would save, as Fearless now coming into the pit road on lap 68 of 200, the last person for the green flag pit stops. As
let's see if Fearless's pit strategy will pay off for him, as Agent is heading down the back stretch. Will Fearless make it work? Yeah. He's out of his stall. Can he make it in time? Agent will cross the line. And it might be close. Nope. Fearless will not take the lead, but he could settle for a 4th place finish as he comes off the pit road.
The main focus for Fearless was these people who will be behind you is battling with EDP coming into the pit road, which EDP is now gonna get past him past Fearless, but Fearless just saved an unimaginable amount of fuel, going nearly 10 laps longer than the field, which the rest of the field will be taking note of it.
Yeah, I will say that could have been a really smart pit strategy by Fearless, because he won't have to pit like the rest of the field when the next pit session comes. But a caution could be thrown out if a crash happens and completely jumble Fearless's pit strategy. But right now there's not a lot of close pack racing. There is multiplication, the lapped car, who is sitting pretty close, chasing Athens' tail. It won't do much, however, but right now multiplication is just trying to make the most of it out of a bad situation. Agent is currently the leader. He has a 1-second gap over Napa. He definitely had the best pit strategy. Maybe he could have possibly, while Fearless did have a bold pit strategy, trying to stay out as long as he can, Agent just had the best pit stop and was there in the right spot at the right time. And Napa and Corey, who are racing close with Agent, are having a hard time catching up with him.
Yeah, currently the rest of the field currently on a 3-stop strategy, but not Fearless. If his field runs are exactly 68 laps, he should be pitting the next time on lap 136, which another 68 laps would take him to 204, which would make it a 2-stop race, which the rest of the field cannot do. So Fearless on the 2-stop strategy. As we did predict, this would be a strategy-filled race, but Fearless currently on the not dominant strategy as the rest of the field, but could it pay off? We currently do not know.
Looks like Corey Wilson is going to try and race Napa for that 2nd spot. Corey bumped the wall just a little bit, but it won't harm any of his momentum, as it seems like we've kind of gone back to where we were before the pit session, except the podium cars are now a little more spread out. But either way, it's kind of the same. The top 3 are just dominating over the rest of the field, or around 2 corners behind the 3rd place car of Corey Wilson. And right now, Kimmy, who hasn't had the best start to a season so far, is currently running in the 8th position in the top 10, which isn't bad, but this is the most popular driver that we're talking about here, who had a pretty exceptional season, the season before. So definitely not the best coming from him, but it's not the worst either.
Yeah, riding on board with Kimmy, just behind Fearless, but he is looking at the lapped car of Multiplication, who has been, in drivers' views, nearly a hazard for all of them as a basically moving roadblock, but it does seem like Multiplication has been learning off of other drivers and getting improved speeds and better lap times, but just too far back to make a real difference, as the only person he will be battling is Brown, who is right behind, who is about 2 seconds behind Kimmy. So only battle he will be in is that one, but that will be it. Just him just moving throughout the field, just letting people by.
Multiplication hit the wall. You know, despite his name, Fearless might have something to fear for the next couple of laps, and that's the car ahead of him.
That is true. Fearless Not
Multiplication hit the wall again.
He might be saying to whatever team he has, he might be saying, guys, I'm scared, looking at the car ahead. But as we look towards the front with Agent, pretty spaced out gap between the top three, Napa was able to leapfrog Corey right before he entered pit, so it was a good pit strategy or green flag pit stops as an in the pit lane and an out lap for Napa, who has had a pretty decent race so far, as well as these top three.
And right now, it is currently lap 82 of about 200 in the Phoenix Grand Prix. This race has definitely gone by pretty fast compared to others, I will say. Just goes to show the speed these cars have, even on some of the shorter tracks like this.
Yeah, this was the first true test. Drivers circling, as this is our first time here at Phoenix, Arizona. Good debut for Phoenix, which we will hope to be returning next season, as Corey Wilson was able to get by Napa, now having sights on Agent for the lead, but a pretty spaced out gap between this entire field, besides Kimi, who last season had a battle between Fearless between those first few races. Kimi's still just trying to look for his first true win, as his only win in IndyCar came from a penalty from Ford at the line, who was able to promote Kimi from P2 to P1, but still just wanting that first win. So many suffering throughout last season. The most notable was Singapore, as he was looking to win that race, but got contacted by Fearless, who is now trying to get past Multiplication, as Multiplication he hit the wall and almost got into Fearless, as we've had a caution-free race so far. But Fearless safely gets by Multiplication. Now Kimi has his eyes on Multiplication to get past him to stay with Fearless. But just up ahead of Fearless, you have EDP, my bad, and Athens having nearly a battle, as EDP is trying to get past Athens, as he was on the apron. His left side tire is on the apron for just a little bit, which you really don't want to do. You want to keep your left side tires above that yellow line, or even just tap it like ADP did. But the curb up here, you can get on that. You will see drivers just mount the curb, especially on if we do have a restart late in this race. You'll just see drivers maybe going 3-bot and mounting the curb. So well, there is a lot of room here at Phoenix, Arizona, but drivers are definitely looking to extend the track, as it could get a little bit chaotic late in the race, as we have seen in the Cup Series, as they are coming here next month for their championship. But in their NASCAR Series here in Bubble Studios, we have actually ran here at Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah. So drivers may have tried to look at that race and see what happens, but a very different style of racing here at Phoenix between the two series.
I haven't really thought about this, but I just realized that Ford is nowhere to be seen. And honestly, I'm kind of wondering myself, what happened to him? From what I know, he was released from his ride at Chip Ganassi Racing, but I thought he was hired to another team, unless he hasn't found one yet, which would be very surprising.
Yeah, as you see Kimi side by side with another yellow car.
Yeah, that's multiplication.
that Snapple and C Sports vehicle, as C Sports is no longer doing the VIS series.
I was going to point out the irony in that. I'm pretty sure that team is ran by the owner of C Sports, so yeah, the timing couldn't be more impeccable, I'd say. Because right now multiplication is dropping like a rock, unfortunately.
Yeah, the owner of C Sports is the owner of Chip Ganassi Racing, which multiplication is driving the number 27, which is a part of Andretti Autosport.
And going back to the front here, as we take you on board with Agent, Corey Wilson and Appleboy have finally caught back up with Agent. They're right on his tail, so we could possibly be seeing some moves from Corey, as right now he continues to slowly gain on Agent. He's there. He's definitely there.
Napa just almost got into the grass, just mounting the curb. All three of them just went over the curb. Just aggressive racing, as Corey Wilson has a run on Agent, as he's going to go to the inside. The first move for the lead after the completed pit stops, as Corey Wilson is going to get clear.
Corey will pass Agent, and Agent...
Oh, just lots of
contact.
Just a lot of movement between them into turns 3. Agent tried to look to the inside, switched to the outside as Corey Wilson went down low.
Agent got shuffled into the middle lane on turns 3 and 4. That was not a good place to be. But Agent still got the momentum. He was right in the back of Corey Wilson there, as Corey will try and hold off Agent, trying to take the lead for himself. We just have 4 laps until the halfway point of the race. Pretty fast, I will say. Definitely one of the fastest races this season.
Yeah, it has been a really fast-paced race, but it's just because of the speeds that they're carrying. Minimum of 170 miles per hour here at Phoenix, Arizona. Top speed, mainly on the backstretch, as we see Agent nearly into the 200, which is going to make contact with Corey Wilson, but not a major implication for him, as it was just a little bump. But you really don't want to see bumping an IndyCar, as it could get you wrecked, or even wreck someone, which will give you a penalty.
Yeah. Now, I will say, a lot of fans already know about this rule, but for the new viewers, I'll just explain. The Verizon IndyCar Series has a timer, which once the timer runs out, it will immediately force the race into a 2-lap to go session. And that has been that timer has been reminded in St. Petersburg and Las Vegas, where we got very close or hit the end of that timer. Although I think for Phoenix that won't be a problem, as right now this race has gone completely green. We saw some hard racing there on turn 4, a little bit of contact between Corey and Agent, but no wheel locks, no crashing, no spins. We stay green, and honestly I'd be surprised if we had an all green race in just the 3rd race of the season.
As we're now going to take you through the field, we're first going to look at Corey Wilson, the current leader, who's been battling with Agent all race, had a decent pit stop. However, he was behind Napa, able to drive from P3 to P1 throughout the 2nd cycle, as he had Agent behind him. Now onto Agent, battling with Corey Wilson, trying to take the lead away.
Agent,
he's been the driver of the day so far. He's been leading most of the races.
Not just the day. Agent so far has been the driver of the season. He's won the first 2 races at Las Vegas, which admittedly did come on a very lucky pass on the last lap. But St. Petersburg, he just absolutely had a threshold on Ford, because he made a pass with 2 to go or 1 lap to go and just went on to take the victory there. And Agent, he's continuing his consistency because he just took the lead from Corey Wilson.
As we go to the driver, just staring on this battle, hoping that something bad will happen. It is Napa. He's also had a pretty decent race. He's been battling with the top 3, even almost battling for going into the lead. He's just been sitting back here, hoping to have another great pit stop. Was able to leapfrog Corey Wilson just before the pit stops, and 3 seconds behind him we have Carter. Carter in that number 11 Coca-Cola machine has had a decent race so far. Highest spot so far is 4th, where he currently runs.
Carter, I will say, Carter, he's actually kind of improving as throughout the first 3 races, because Carter did surprisingly well at St. Petersburg the previous race, but I'm pretty sure a penalty because of something he did where he made contact with a few of the cars in the pack. I'm pretty sure that forced him to the back penalty, so it lost him a bunch of positions and definitely harmed him in the run for the championship, but definitely consistent by Carter.
Yeah, he's just in his league of his own, getting chased by Athens here in the number 9 target car, inspired by Scott Dixon. He's also had a pretty decent race. He was our pole sitter, I believe. Oh wait, no, that was EDP, who was right behind him, but Athens having a decent race. Most of these drivers have had decent race. As we move back to our pole sitter, who is EDP, he was on the pole but dropped back significantly throughout the first 10 laps. He was in 7th, his lowest during non-green flag, during the non-cycle, but now currently in P6. But he is getting chased by Fearless.
Yeah, Fearless, he is currently running 7th place, which is decent. But Fearless could have been running in a higher position at the moment, because on the green flag when this race started, he got pushed into the wall on turns 3 and 4, which lost him some spots and kind of harmed his performance in the race.
I do believe that we are having green flag pit stops.
Yeah, again.
And it is Kimmy. The green flag cycle is now beginning once again. It is Kimmy, who we are just about to talk to about, but now dives onto pit road. As he's looked to his right, who he's going to find a pit stop, but the leader is just going right past him. He is going to go a lap down, joining Brown, as Brown did get past multiplication.
Yeah, those were 2 cars in the back of the pack.
Kimmy stops in the second to last pit stop as he's waiting on fuel, and there he goes. Kimmy, first driver.
The car who was running behind Kimmy, but I think just past him right now, was Anthony Anderson in the Max Paints Honda.
As Brown
Anthony
now comes
Anderson,
in pit.
like I said early on in the race, he's had his ups and downs. He sometimes shines depending on the restart of a race. He'll run out front for a few laps. Sometimes he will actually put on a pretty good show. But Anthony Anderson has mostly ran between mid-pack and in the back of the pack for a lot of his races throughout his IndyCar career.
Yeah,
you can still expect a lot from him on some races.
Yeah, 2 drivers on pit road right now. It's Brown and pass and leader Agent on pit road. They're just looking. The rest of the drivers, here comes Brown right behind Kimmy. Brown did have that speeding penalty, but clean this race, and now we now have Corey Wilson on pit road, followed by Napa and Athens. Corey Wilson battling with Napa, with Corey Wilson coming out just ahead of Napa. They're gonna be waiting for Agent to come by, as Anthony Anderson now into pit road. Carter follows suit. Here comes EDP Cross with Fearless and Agent. Agent trying to go as fast as he can, but with traffic ahead of him, he might get behind Corey Wilson and Napa, as though right there,
Oh, pretty
Agent
big pack here.
Agent is going to get past Napa as he's going to dive to the inside. A lot of
Oh, and
contact.
Fearless with
A bunch
contact.
of, just a bunch of contact. Agent going into the back of Corey Wilson as you see Prime on pit road. Corey Wilson and
pack.
Fearless side by side. Fearless, who went 68 laps on his last field run, who is going to take the lead.
They're
But
racing
Agent
hard
nearly
here.
on the inside of Corey Wilson. This could cause a caution.
Yeah.
As Agent fighting hard with Corey Wilson, you see EDP coming onto pit road.
Yeah, this is the closest we might get to having a caution here because the racing here is just intense right now. Fearless has not come into pit road yet. Neither has EDP.
Well, EDP is actually now on pit road.
Yeah.
So Fearless once again putting the rest of the field a lap down, but multiplication. He's at P7, just currently on a big run right now. He hasn't pitted, but high as he has been.
That is surprising, I will admit. And then it'll be Brown who will run 2 laps behind. But yeah, we're in kind of a dangerous spot, I'd say. But this racing is definitely going to heat up between Corey, Napa, and Agent because they've all pitted. And right now, Corey, he's definitely caught up to Agent. Agent is trying to get around Fearless. I'm not sure why he's trying to race a lapped car. Agent, I'm not saying Agent is Robbie Gordon, Sonoma, but I mean, Agent, he was definitely frustrated last race with Ford.
Yeah, championship protagonist last year. Now on the same team with Chip Ganassi Racing, who dominated the team championship, but different teams now. Fearless drops behind Agent, now looking to get passed by Corey Wilson. Corey Wilson is going to send it in there, just a slight contact between them.
Fearless is going to have a hard time pitting. Agent is on a quest to defend his championship, and he'll do whatever it takes. As Corey is racing hard with Fearless, Corey will take the bottom, trying to get around Fearless. They're making contact.
Fearless is racing Corey Wilson very hard right now. It is not the brightest of him to be racing him this, but Corey Wilson needing to get past Fearless to battle with Agent, and so is Napa trying to get past Fearless, as Corey Wilson is going to get past Fearless, as Napa is going to go on the inside of Fearless, trying to get his lap back. Now 4 drivers on the lead lap, as
Fearless
just
still the leader.
Yeah, Fearless still leading multiplication now on pit road. But if we do see another 68 laps on the fuel run, Fearless shouldn't be pitting until nearly lap 140.
Multiplication is coming through pit road.
Which is just unimaginable because the rest of the field only going 55 to 60 laps on fuel.
Right now, Agent isn't the leader. It's still Fearless because Fearless has not came into pit yet. He did pit later than the rest of the pack for fuel. So, for now it's paying off for Fearless, but soon enough he will have to relinquish his lead once again.
But later in the race, he should be doing his last pit stop, I believe. He's shown that he can make it 68 laps on fuel. If he just gets to lap 134, he can make it just barely on fuel, which right now it's good for him as he's behind 3 cars, able to get the draft.
Yep. And there's officially 75 laps to go at Phoenix International Raceway, which means that we're also 75 laps away from making history here, not just because it's the first race on this track, but also we might possibly have a completely green race here in the Verizon IndyCar series. I don't think it'll be the first it's happened. I'm pretty sure it did happen before, but it's still a surprising moment to see. So we can thank the drivers for
a very clean race today.
Yeah.
But going back to last season, the most cautions in a race was, I believe, Michigan, which was probably it wasn't probably, it was the worst race of the season. It was just pack racing. It was very dangerous for all the drivers. We saw 2 cars go upside down, nearly cars going into the fence. It was 4 wide throughout the pack. Just very dangerous, and the drivers and Bubble said, no, we're not doing this next season, as it did replace Belle Isle because of issues on the track.
I will say, it'll be a clean day field, because no one has had to use a respawn at all.
Yeah, Napa trying to look.
Damage.
Yeah, Napa, he had a look on the inside of Corey Wilson into turn 4, but wasn't able to use it, as Agent is pulling away, actually just a little bit, as Corey Wilson will try and drive up as he did before to Agent, leaving Napa behind. But just
guaranteed win for the 21 of Agent.
But nearly about 3 to 4 seconds is Anthony Anderson, and 2 cars ahead of him, Prime and Multiplication, which will send Multiplication, if Fearless gets by him, 3 laps down.
And it looks like Anthony Anderson could possibly get lapped by the front-running cars, because he is definitely in sight of Agent. But for now, Anthony will continue to run in the 10th spot. Multiplication has fallen back down into last place. He had to sacrifice his decent 7th place position to take fuel.
We should see Fearless hitting in the next 3 to 5 laps, which would be his last race, and I think EDP
has crashed.
EDP has lost his right rear, and we do have a caution.
I don't know what happened, if he got loose or not, but that'll be the end of this possibly all-green race as he spins down the front stretch and gets hit by Anthony.
Most likely, he seemed like he was battling with Kimmy, maybe. Yeah, as EDP now gets a warning, last remaining vehicle.
Of all the drivers to bring out the first caution, it was our pole winner.
Yeah.
We were less than 70 laps away from getting an all-green Verizon IndyCar Series race.
Yeah, as you see the rest of the field just going by. But it should be Agent in second. But right now, all the drivers can make it right now. You might see the remaining of the field head down pit road. Or
this could possibly be the moment where everything flips upside down, because if these drivers take fuel during this pit session, we might go green until the end, which means the door could open for some really aggressive racing.
Yeah, as we were talking about the curb, which people were mounting on, we could see them start using that, as Multiplication is going to get past, which Anthony, I don't think he is on the lead lap according to the ticker, so he is going to fall back, I think, ahead of Prime, but it's still Brown and Multiplication who are going to line up with the field this time. So Fearless in the lead, followed by Agent. You have Corey Wilson, Napa. Then you have, I believe it is Carter. Then Athens, Kimmy. Then you have Prime, you have Anthony. Then I believe it is EDP. Actually, no, it is Brown, EDP, Multiplication, I believe, currently. But I believe EDP will go to the back because he did respawn. But we will have to get confirmation from Race Control. As Napa on the outside, don't know what he's doing. But pits are open this time. The first yellow will mean the first caution pit stops.
Yep.
Pit road might get, it either will get really busy or it will not get really busy. We don't know what's going to happen. We know Fearless is going to come down pit road. He made another long run, about 72 laps, and here comes the entire field.
Yep, the entire field will take
Corey Wilson is going
because they know they won't have to take any more.
Corey Wilson takes that first pit stop, and Fearless, he will have to take the most amount of fuel, so he will lose a lot of ground.
Fearless out of his stall.
Corey Wilson currently, no, it's Napa currently leading the race out pit road. Agent, can he get ahead of Napa? Yes, he will. Agent taking the...
It's Anthony. I think...
No way, Anthony is coming.
Anthony just made his stop.
You have... They're too wide. You have Anthony coming out in fourth. Multiplication. What a pit stop by him. He is going to come out in 5th place.
I was going to say, what an impressive stop by Multiplication. He absolutely timed his stop perfectly.
We are green this time as Fearless dropped from the lead down to seems like 9th place, but we knew that was going to happen as he did have to take the most amount of fuel. Agent currently in the lead. Napa overtaken. Corey Wilson, Anthony Anderson, a big jump, and the biggest move, Multiplication. What can he do?
I mean, look at Anthony also. He was also running pretty much in the back in 10th or 11th place, but he's also rebounded up to 4th.
We could see a lot of contact, or not a lot of contact on this restart. You have Corey Wilson making a move on Napa.
No point in fuel
saving. They're making a bunch of contact. They're going to go almost 3 wide. They are going 3 wide. Multiplication on the outside. Kimmy shoots the middle.
Multiplication is falling back. We could see some 4 wide racing here. Because Multiplication, I don't think he has the speed. But look at Anthony Anderson fighting Corey Wilson, who was at the front for that 3rd spot. They're still 3 wide in the back, as the front half of the field is starting to straighten out. Multiplication got into the grass there, as he'll fall behind and force it 3 wide between Kimmy and Fearless are battling for position.
Sends it 3 wide. Multiplication comes down. They're
Multiplication sideways into the wall, hard hit.
Multiplication wrecks out.
And there goes Athens. He got around. Athens is spinning. Does he take any damage? No, he didn't. He kept his car in one piece. What a save! But Multiplication's car is destroyed. What a hit!
Yeah, as we were looking at that battle, you had Fearless, who took it 3 wide, as Kimmy also took it onto the inside of Multiplication, but the worst came out of Multiplication, but we were watching. Multiplication just came down on Kimmy and Fearless. It's almost like a self-served caution, as he just came down. I don't know what he was expecting. But he is going to go to the back after a surprising pit stop just ruined his chances.
And it looks like that good pit stop wasn't worth it in the end. I don't think anyone else is going to come down pit road.
Yeah, so Kimmy, I was watching him on the restart in the dogleg. He got a big run off of turn 2 and then just shot it 3 wide between, I believe it was EDP and Prime, and then Fearless followed him but a big move by Kimi, but who was in the wreck between Multiplication, as Multiplication is going to drive through the field trying to get his lap back. EDP, I believe, also had to respawn.
Lucky break for Fearless. He'll move up into the 6th spot. Definitely improvement from his 9th place run.
Yeah, Kimi also had a lucky break, not getting spun out when Multiplication came down.
Yeah.
So a lot of, even Fearless, he had contact, and Athens, who just barely made it through. He almost made it through, but barely got clipped.
I mean,
but he did save it.
Yeah, I will say
damage.
We've seen how Multiplication has run and how off the pace he's been. I feel like this incident was kind of inevitable.
Yeah, we did have a feeling about that.
Yeah. We didn't want it to happen, but here we are. Oh, an Agent just hit the wall.
Agent, what
he got pushed. Oh, and there goes Corey. He didn't hit the wall, but Agent has damage to the front wing of his car. I don't know what that was about.
I don't believe it will count because something did happen.
Yeah, he got pushed by Napa, I think, who was running 2nd.
So
Agent needs to respawn in the pits.
So he might. He will either go to the back, or he will either go to the back or stay in the front. But he is respawning, so I believe he is going to the back. But
okay,
as Bubble just said, he will keep the position.
That was weird.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that.
Now, I'm kind of hoping we have a replay for what happened with Multiplication, because that incident totaled his car quite a bit, so...
Yeah, we could give a brief description. It was 3 wide between Fearless on the inside, Kimi in the middle, and Multiplication on the outside.
Yeah,
Multiplication, he started in 5th place, which was a good run for him, but in turn 3
he got sideways. He got hooked by, I think it was Kimi,
he just
he just slid it sideways, and I think he hit the wall pretty hard, because after he took that impact, it destroyed quite a good amount of his car. And he while he was crashing, Athen got tagged by his red car, and that caused him to spin out. But surprisingly, Athen was able to keep his car away from the wall, as we have some takers on pit road.
Yeah, Anthony Anderson leads Brown, EDP, Carter, and Athens onto pit road.
I'm not sure why Anthony chose to make his stop, because he already pitted. He already pitted. I think
they're trying to get safe on fuel.
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to get safe on fuel, but...
We didn't even go a full lap, though, so it's a little strange.
Yeah, Multiplication actually came down on Kimi and Fearless, as Anthony is going to beat Brown off of pit road.
Yeah, he made a really quick stop there, Anthony Anderson. That was good by him. So he'll lead the field off of pit road. He's going through the grass for some reason.
We are green this time, according from race control. Agent in the lead, followed by Napa, Corey Wilson, Fearless, and Kimi rounding up the top 5.
Yep.
We are hoping that we could stay green.
I'm not sure what Anthony is doing.
We might have to delay the restart, as Anthony is doing some stuff.
He's swerving a little bit. Oh, I think he's trying to get into his spot.
Yeah, he is getting in line.
Right,
he is in line. And we are back green. Kimi gets into the back of Fearless a little bit. It's going to slow him down.
Multiplication in the middle of the pack here, as they force it 4 wide going into turn 1. They were still kind of 4 wide. They're now 3 wide in the back. That's between Carter, Athen, and Anthony, as Agent to the front. Oh, and Napa got into the air. Big crash. Multiplication sideways.
Napa upside down in between turns 3 and 4. He had contact with Corey Wilson,
The
but
red flag is out.
Napa with an unimaginable wreck. We were talking earlier in the race about wheel launches, and it just happened.
Yeah. That was wild. I need to see a replay of that. That was chaotic.
Probably
This
the
race
most
has
spectacular.
gone down the drain.
One of the most spectacular wrecks of the season right now.
Absolutely. That was chaotic.
I believe it was two things. I believe Corey Wilson came up for the corner, Napa came down, and they just made contact, which sent Napa upside down. He was lucky to not hit the fence, but he was in the middle of the field. I believe he only got hit by one car, but it was a very, very scary wreck for Napa, who went upside down in between turn 3 and 4. As we're on board with him, you can see him moving in the car.
That's really unfortunate for Napa, because he was having a really good podium run the entire race. He was running third for a lot of it, and he just launched up and found himself on his roof. I mean, that was a dangerous position to be in, to flip in front of the field. That could have took out a bunch more cars, and it was lucky that Multiplication didn't lose any wheels, because he was involved in it as well, but didn't take any damage whatsoever. And Multiplication is on his last car, so it could have been the end of it for him there. As I'm looking right now, it looks like Napa locked wheels with Corey Wilson, and it launched the front of his car up into the air and put him upside down. We also saw Noted lock wheels with Brown, but that didn't result in any wreck at all. So yeah, it looks like, from what I'm seeing, Multiplication made contact with Napa, and I think Multiplication was trying to brake but got bumped into the back by Anthony, who was just behind him. That's what caused Multiplication to get loose and nearly cause his car to wreck.
Yeah, it was contact between Corey Wilson and Napa, but we're happy to say Napa is safe. But one of the, if not the wildest wreck of the season.
Absolutely. I'm impressed that Multiplication didn't take any damage from that crash at all, because he hit the flipped car of Napa, and he was loose in that situation because he got hit by Anthony. So that's definitely a lucky break for him, I will say.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the yellow to come back out, as we have still yet to get a replay.
No, we do. I have a replay. I could send it to you. No moment. Hold on.
Oh, I see the replay.
Yeah. We do have a replay. I was just looking at that.
Yeah, we do have a replay in the racer chat.
Yeah, look at the airtime that Napa got from that. His car was completely... The front of his car was completely in the air.
It was complete... Yeah, as we're just waiting for the replay to come on the stream for you guys to look at it. But it was just a really chaotic restart. They were nearly 4 wide into turn number 1, which
Yeah.
we didn't think would happen today, but the driver said, you know what, we're going to do it.
Boy, Brown Moon's got really lucky in that crash. The multiplication's wing was just centimeters away from Brown's car, so Brown could have been the third victim in that incident, but just barely got by.
Yeah, multiplication, the first person to hit Napa got sideways, but I believe
He nearly got in front
damaged.
of
I'm not
Brown.
sure.
I'm looking
Yeah.
right now. It was close. Like,
It was
if Brown was just in a different position, like maybe a few feet to the right, he could have climbed on top of multiplication's car. It could have been a far worse wreck.
and we do have and we're back to yellow conditions
Yep.
here at Phoenix, Arizona. It will take a long time for the field to figure out their positions.
Either way, this race might have gone downhill because we've had back-to-back cautions with 2 pretty violent incidents. So now that fuel strategy is out of the way and the cars can make it to the end, this might have just ruined the green flag racing we had before.
Yeah, we made it nearly
We were like 67 laps away from completing the race under green.
Yeah, just really, really unfortunate. We're hoping to stay green flag, but around 69, 68 laps to go, EDP got damaged. The entire field came into the pits. Then on the restart, we did go green for a lap, and then in turns 3 and 4, multiplication came down on Kimmy and Fearless when they were 3 wide, slammed the wall. Then on the most recent caution, the scariest wreck possibly of the season, Napa going upside down.
Prime is frozen.
With contact of Corey Wilson, as we're still wanting to get a replay of that, but we'll get that later.
There's a field heads into
turn 3. Yeah, we're just waiting for it to get on the stream. But in turns 4, Agent leading the field with Corey Wilson. How will Napa get back to the field? We're gonna watch that on the front straightaway. We are back green at Phoenix, Arizona, and a lot of
Noted did not get going there.
I believe he got slowed up by Brown as EDP on the inside of Napa, who is just in that
man,
and their contact multiplication got into the wall. Brown slams the wall again. Brown nearly he did get into the back.
Bumpers. Noted
Anthony Anderson.
Run into the wall.
Yeah, EDP got into the wall, but a clean restart so far.
Fearless is racing hard with Corey Wilson. Fearless is trying to get his first win of the season to try and break the winless streak over Agent, as Anthony is trying to make his way into the top 5, but Athen is going to try and pull away. Here comes Napa now, the car that was upside down, battling with Anthony.
Agent just moved Corey Wilson out of the way. Agent will do the respectful thing and give the spot back to Corey Wilson. A good move by Agent. That is why he's one of the most respected drivers, but he is going to lose a lot of spots.
Agent just left a gap for Anthony right there, because it looked like Anthony was about to pass Agent, but Anthony is slowing down big time because he entered the corner on the high side. But right now, Anthony's running decent. Fearless is the leader. Kimmy in second. Look at Kimmy. What a rebound by him.
The 2 drivers who were battling last season, who did get in some contact last season, are now 1 and 2. What could happen this season? They're not on the same team anymore, but Kimmy still trying to Kimi just trying to get past Fearless and trying to get his first win. His real first win.
Yeah, and right now, Corey is running the third spot. He's going to try and make the pass on Kimi for the second spot. They're side by side. We're finally getting some green flag laps in after 2 horrendous accidents. There's a little bit of side-by-side racing in the back between Prime and Noted. But Noted, he could finish last place. Oh, and Anthony needs to serve a drive-through penalty. I'm not sure why. It's stated that he needs to respond his car.
Yeah, so Agent...
That is weird.
Agent in chat was saying, Bubble, Anthony's car is broken, so that's why I believe he is having a drive-through penalty because of a broken car. But Brown, just on the inside of Anthony gonna shoot down onto pit road.
That is very strange. That is, I'm
Yeah,
not sure why.
Yeah, Bubble's saying he is loose, so something wrong with one of the scripts in the car. So he did respawn, 47 laps to go, just under a quarter of the race to go. You
so
still have
Anthony
Fearless.
Might have lost all his positions right there. That is unfortunate. Right there. Less than 50 laps to go in the Phoenix Grand Prix. Fearless is the new leader. His patience and staying out during pit cycles has paid off, as he has a pretty good lead over Corey Wilson. Agent has finally lost the monopoly he's had for such a long period of time in this race. But Corey, he could be the one. He's been second best all race, and he could be the one to win it here.
Yeah, 3 of the top 4 drivers have not been in the lead besides Fearless, who has been on the lead because of pit strategy. They have driven their way up through the front because of misfortunes. Kimi in the wreck with multiplication, but didn't get any damage and was able to continue on. Corey Wilson just involved in the last wreck with Napa sending him upside down. So the top...
Sorry, there's some hard racing here between Brown and Carter. This is intense. I'm not sure why Brown is being so aggressive with Carter, because he was right on track to be the next Napa boy this race. So just some aggressive racing here. There's really no need to save your fuel and let off on this track, because now it's all about fighting for position. And right now, Agent is running in the top 5, but he must be pretty frustrated because he's been first place all race long, and now it seems like it might slip away.
Yeah, on to talking about Brown. On the restart, he did get contact and sending his front wheels into the air, but he didn't spin or anything, just kept on going, but he gets into the wall just a little bit. But Agent, I feel like the first time he's dealing with the dirty air right now, he could be trying to learn how to drive with it, as he's been in the lead that entire race. So not a good place for Agent right now, but Fearless is still holding the lead. We didn't think this would happen, because on the cycles you saw Agent, Kimi, and Napa pass him, but I feel like he was just saving fuel. But now he's just going full out, and this is the Fearless that we have remembered.
Yeah, this is the Fearless we've been waiting for. Same for Kimi. Kimi is also having his breakout this race, because he is now on track to get a podium, and this just might have been the Kimi that'll go on to have good performance and fight for the championship as the season goes on, because now it seems like the tables have turned for him in a very positive light. As Athen, the rookie, I'm pretty sure he's been the breakout driver, the rookie driver of this race.
Yeah,
because he's been pretty good, running between around 6th to 5th. But right now, he is in the 4th spot, just behind the podium drivers. And he could score, I think, his 2nd straight podium, because I think after Carter's penalty, he was given a 3rd place spot or 2nd place spot. Either way, it was a really good finishing position by him. So definitely some good consistency by this driver, especially in a championship-winning team car, that number 9 Target machine. As right now, Corey is trying to go for the lead. He has the bottom over Fearless, and Kimmy is also there on Fearless. He could also pass him, and Fearless could be shuffled back into the 3rd spot. But right now, Corey has finally taken the lead over Fearless with just 37 laps to go in the race at Phoenix. And we're gearing up for probably a really good finish, I'll say, because it seems like the top 3 is always the most competitive and most dominant, no matter what the driver is.
Yeah, I was about to say that no matter what the 3 drivers are, they always just seem to pull away as they're pulling away from Athens, but able to keep it much closer. But before the first pit stops, we were seeing a 3-second gap between 3rd and 4th, which is now only a second. So the field is much closer together. But you still have Agent in P5. You have Napa who flipped on the last caution in P6.
Boy, Brown is in a hard fighting game of his own right now, because he is racing a little hard with Prime, as I'm noticing. And it looks like he's going to try and charge to the bottom to try and get around him, but looks like Prime will have the position or spot, or be in the place to hold him off. Maybe not. Here comes Brown. Little bit of contact with him and Prime, as Brown will overtake Prime. Prime doesn't want to be a part of that. He'll fall behind. He might try and take it back in a fit of revenge, but looks like he doesn't want to be the next victim of this race.
Yeah, Prime just lets Brown go, not trying to get wrecked, but he does have an early apex, almost getting into the wall, as so is EDP. But Corey Wilson overtook Fearless about 5 laps ago and is now controlling the race. Fearless dropping back. So Fearless could have been holding back Corey Wilson, which Corey Wilson is now just lightly pulling away, but you still have Kimmy in 3rd, Athens in 4th, Agent in 5th. That is your top 5 here at Phoenix Raceway.
Yeah, and right now, Corey Wilson, who's been the 2nd place driver all race, could win his first race of the season here at Phoenix International Raceway. He got into the wall right there, but nothing to worry about, I'd say. As right now, the pack is spreading out quite a bit.
EDP was able to get past Prime the last lap as we were looking at the leaders. So Prime just still falling back. But the only lapped car right now is Anthony, who his car was broken, had to serve a drive-through penalty and respawn. So not a good showing for Anthony here. He was in the top 5 after pit stops, and then had to pit again to be safe on fuel, and then car just broke for some reason and had to come into pit road.
I've said it all race. He has his ups and downs, and he just had his ups, and now he's in his downs.
Yeah, last year driving for Team Penske, just tried so much. He got so close, but was never able to do it. But he has switched teams. He did switch teams and now has a pretty. He does have a slick car with max paints. But it's still Corey Wilson. He is pulling away from Fearless, but not that by almost 1/10 of a second, which is not that much. Fearless could easily just make it up with a Corey Wilson mistake, but once again, not that rare to see that. Agent just still not able to do stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm kind of surprised that Agent hasn't really taken any action whatsoever to try and get to the front, because he's fast. We know how fast Agent is. But to see Agent not replicating the same speed that Corey Wilson has right now, it's pretty interesting.
I think it's just the top 4 was just holding back on their speed, saving fuel, as Agent was he was the first person on pit road, and he was also the first person on pit road and the top 3 on the second green flag pit stop. So the people who are behind him are now just running full push, and you can see their true speed now, as Agent not being able to do anything.
Carter just pushed Napa Boy really hard off of turn 2, I believe. That was aggressive, I'd say.
As EDP is
like Brown.
Yeah, EDP. Yeah, Brown and EDP battling with 24 actually laps to go. A very quick pace race, as we're not going to get near the race timer.
The race timer will not be an issue whatsoever because this race was really fast.
Yeah, the first 100 laps caution free, more like the first 140 laps caution free, and then we had probably those 20 laps of just straight yellows, even once again a red flag in the race, but now they have continued to go green flag.
Oh,
as
contact
Brown.
with Brown.
Yeah, they're still making contact.
Brown is racing really aggressively with Noted, the pole winner, as he's going to get into the back of Noted, trying to get around him.
Yeah, Noted
really aggressive.
Big contact between Brown and EDP, as EDP, we expected him to be really fast this race, as he did get the pole, but he is just falling back.
3-car battle for position, just 21 laps to go in the Phoenix Grand Prix. Noted was kind of riding the right side of Brown's car right there, as Noted is going to try and chase down Brown, trying to take the position away. As Brown slides up, here comes Noted.
Yeah, and at the front, Kimi able to get past Fearless. So that is a pass for second place, now having his eyes on Corey Wilson, who has just pulled away. But back to the back, it's Brown, EDP, and Prime in a battle for 8th place. But in the distance, which is going to be a surprise, Prime in the wall. But back in 11th, who is close, it is Multiplication.
Well, at least he's not last place. He's probably thankful about that. Could have been worse.
Multiplication, who's been at the rear, but we probably talked like the third most about him beside Corey Wilson and Agent, just because of what his race has been like. He won a lap down, first car lap down, and then managed to pit stop his way into P5, as Brown and EDP are still racing hard.
Yeah, but also don't leave out Carter and Napa. They've also been racing very hard in these closing laps. In this moment, it seems like a foregone conclusion that Corey Wilson will walk away with the victory here, because he just has a really good lead over Kimi and Fearless. Fearless is falling down to 3rd place. I feel like this hard racing between Brown and EDP and Carter and Napa, those are the only chances of caution possibly coming out, because this is just some aggressive racing between them.
Or we could have had what EDP had. He had a weird caution. It was either caused by a self-spin, which he is now on the inside of Brown, or possible contact with Kimi. We'll never know, as we did not get a replay or was watching him. But Agent, another battle starting to brew up between Athens, as this is for P4.
Yep. Agent doesn't want to settle for just a top 5 finish, or 5th place finish, I mean. He wants more than that. He's gonna
Yeah,
do whatever it takes.
none of the drivers want to deal with the position that they're in. So Agent trying to find a way past Athens. You have Carter trying to find a way past Napa, and you have EDP, possibly Prime, trying to get past Brown.
These drivers are just trying to get whatever position they can towards the fight for the championship, and right now I feel like this is what might cause our last caution of the race, our final cautions of the race, because I wouldn't leave out the possibility of a wreck happening with a little over or less than 5 laps to go. Because these drivers, they can't keep racing aggressive like this for too long.
Yeah, at the end of last season, we saw a bunch of points moving in spots on the team championship and in the drivers championship. So every single point counts. Any spot you can give. As Carter on the inside of Napa, he is almost going to get clear, and he is going to get clear. Napa going to fall behind him, as you have Agent on the inside of Athens, who might get clear of him. EDP, he's looking on the inside of Brown. We almost had all of them who were battling in a spot. The driver behind almost get ahead of them, as Agent is going to get successfully clear of Athens. You also have Carter successfully past Napa. But Brown and EDP, the two drivers who have had the most contact between their battles, this is where all the eyes on for a possible caution are.
Not just that, but I feel like Carter and Napa aren't off the table either, because they've also been racing really hard. There's only 10 laps to go here in the race, and we just might go green until the end. And what seemed like a race that could have gone green until the very end ended up having a red flag situation, but we just might go back to having that long green flag stint, and that could possibly be how the race will end, as Corey Wilson seems to have locked up the victory here, because he has an outstanding lead over Kimi in second place. And I think that'll be the best finishing position for Kimi so far in the season. So unless Fearless is able to pass him at the last possible second, could be a really great run for him.
Yeah, during testing these last 2 weeks, Corey Wilson has been at the front of the field almost every single time.
Athen got on the grass.
Yeah, he is on the grass, but he is on the inside of Agent. They are on each other.
I think Agent might risk it.
Any spot will count. But they are going to battle
hard. I don't know why, but I feel like Agent is...
Ooh, just a little bit of contact.
I feel like Agent might risk a caution here, because he might be a little cocky right now, because he's always been good on pit stops, and he's been really fast. Agent just might be being a little aggressive, though. I'm not saying he is cocky, but he's just racing really hard with Athen, the rookie. It is his former ride, so I wouldn't put it past him trying to beat his old ride.
But Agent has been in the lead this entire race, as they now take 5 to go. Agent has been in the lead this entire race, so a P5 is not a successful day for him, not a good day. He wants more. If something happens between Corey Wilson, Kimi, or Fearless with the penalty, if he's in P4, that will give him a podium, as Athens on the apron. Agent got slowed down by him. You definitely do not want to be on that apron here at Phoenix.
Looks like the aggressive racing between Carter and Napa has stopped. Same for Brown, I believe. Brown might have conquered Noted, because there's only 4 laps to go in the race, unless Noted tries to make a risky move here. It's really just between Agent and Athen, who could possibly bring the caution. There goes Athen! He got punted by Agent.
Agent just drove through Athens. He just made the
slightest. Not playing around.
Agent just made the slightest contact between Athens, but could that be a penalty?
I
For
think it is,
avoidable
yeah.
contact.
It's going to be a penalty for Agent because that was aggressive right there.
Yeah, it was only a
warning.
warning. But Brown and EDP are side by side, but off crossing the line. 2 laps to go for Corey Wilson.
It just might be over. As they come down the back stretch, there'll be 2 corners left until the white flag. This is it right here. The white flag is out for Corey Wilson, who was the second fastest car all race, but has now been the fastest car as he overcomes the rest of the field in a dominant late race performance coming down the backstretch into the final corners. And Corey will break the win streak that Agent have over this entire season so far, and he'll win at Phoenix.
Kimi is going to get P2 with Fearless in P3, rounding out the podium. Agent was able to get P4 with Athens P5, Carter P6. You have Napa, who went upside down in P7. Then you have EDP P8, Brown P9. Then you have Prime P10, Multiplication P11. Then more contact. Agent just ran into the back of Fearless.
Man, Agent is not happy. And like I said before, Corey will take his first victory of the season. I'm not sure what Agent is doing.
I believe Agent is just congratulating.
I mean, this isn't Corey's first victory.
And Anthony has lost his wing, which...
He lost his wing. Anthony lost his wing, not a tire, though. That doesn't change anything.
Yeah, but it is... Wrecking past the line is a disqualification, I believe.
Really?
I believe so. We're gonna have to get word from race control about... But it's only on purpose, which I don't think it is.
Corey Wilson, the winner here at Phoenix International Raceway in the Phoenix Grand Prix. He gets it done here after a dominant performance and breaks the win streak that Agent had. He'll be our second ever winner this season. What a run by him.
And what a race also. This was an incredible race. The first 140 laps, we just had a strategic race, and then those couple 20 laps that we had, just a bunch of contact, just dirty racing. Just not that good. And then after the flip, I feel like drivers just said, we need to finish the race, and they did cleanly. But Corey Wilson, who was battling with Agent, who only got P5, I believe. Oh no, it was P4. But he did get contact with Athens.
Yep.
But Kimi able to come in P2. It is a good bounce back for Kimi, hoping to just go one more spot in the next race. Speaking of next race, we want you to join us at the streets of Long Beach for the 42nd Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach at Long Beach, California next Saturday, same time, and also with Indy Lights. I believe they are off next week, but they will join them at Barber Motorsports.
Kind of a weird formula that I'm noticing here. We start the season in a dry desert racetrack, then the next race is at a nice beach, and then the next race is at a desert, the next race is again at a beach.
Yep, but we're now going to somewhere different, the woody wilderness of Birmingham, Alabama after Long Beach.
I think it's about time for interviews.
Yeah, I wonder if we could get our winner, Corey Wilson, up here.
Yeah. Alright. Well, I don't think we're doing any interviews. So,
I'll ask.
yeah. I think that's about it.
Well, Corey Wilson is in. He is in here. Corey Wilson, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we doing an interview? Alright. So, here's our winner's interview. Okay, actually, hold on. NASCAR Boy, do you want to do this interview?
Yeah, sure. So,
Alright.
Corey Wilson, you had an incredible race. You did have a little bit of contact with Napa, but overall a good race. What is your view on the race?
We did pretty good. I really shouldn't have won that race. It really should have been Agents. I mean, he was the best car by far all race. We kind of sold on that first stop. I think it was around lap 55, missed our entry. So we had to go around, lost a lot of time. We had to play catch up pretty much mid-race. It was overall good. Those two last cautions, it was a lot to time. There was a lot because the strategy started to mix up. We had to start switching over to different things. Me and Napa, I don't know what happened there. We were really tight on entry, kind of hit him, and I think he flew up in the air. But overall, good race. It was really good race racing around with these guys.
Yeah, as you were battling with Agent the entire race, what was going through your mind?
That dude is so fast. I kept up with him early race, but that mid race he was gone. Could not get back to him. Took me at least 40 laps, and even then he still got in front of me. He is so fast. It's gonna be hard to win against him this season.
So as you guys are going to Long Beach next week, what are you expecting? What are you going to do to prepare for that?
Make the race this time. We kind of in St. Petersburg really badly, so I'm just hoping I don't do what I did at St. Petersburg and hopefully make the race at least.
So into the season, what do you feel like is going to happen? How do you feel like you're going to end the season? Moving on.
And moving on, I was just gonna look for good finishes. I mean, wins not really on the top of the mind, but good finishes will give us a lot of points, and hopefully we'll be in championship running for the end of the season.
Well, thank you, Corey, for your words. As we are finished here at Phoenix Raceway, once again,
Yep.
Corey Wilson, your winner with Kimmy in P2 and Fearless rounding out your podium.
What a race here at Phoenix. I mean, what more could you really ask for? We had a lot of green flag racing, a lot of strategy and calculations, and we still had a few hard wrecks and bad incidents, but not enough to overshadow this race because we still came out with a really good finish and a new winner this season. So we thank you all for staying tuned and watching this race. It was really fun. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week at Long Beach.